Hi, kids. It's children's story time. One more set of stories, two stories from Frog and Toad, a story treasure book, a storybook treasure. That's it. So the first one is The Hat, and the next one is Alone. So here we go. The Hat. On Toad's birthday, Frog gave him a hat. Toad was delighted. Happy birthday, said Frog. Toad put on the hat. Right? It fell down over his eyes. I'm sorry, said Frog. That hat is much too big for you. I will give you something else. No, said Toad. This hat is your present to me. I like it. I will wear it the way it is. There he is, with the hat over his eyes. You can't walk very far with a hat over your eyes. Oh, sure enough, Frog and Toad went for a walk. Toad tripped over a rock. He bumped into a tree. He fell into a hole. Frog, said Toad, I can't see anything. I will not be able to wear your beautiful present. This is a sad birthday for me. There's Toad, falling all over himself, but he can't see a thing. Frog and Toad were sad for a while. Then Frog said, Toad, here is what you must do. Tonight when you go to bed, you must think some very big thoughts. Those big thoughts will make your head grow larger. In the morning, your new hat may fit. What a good idea, said Toad. That night when Toad went to bed, he thought the biggest thoughts that he could think. Toad thought about giant sunflowers. He thought about tall oak trees. He thought about high mountains covered with snow. There's his big thoughts and his dreams at night. Then Toad fell asleep. Frog came into Toad's house. He came in quietly. Frog found the hat and took it to his house. There's Frog getting the hat. Shh, it's a secret. Frog poured some water on the hat. He put the hat in a warm place to dry. It's one of those hats that's made out of fibers, grass fibers, and so it's going to shrink maybe, huh? It began to shrink. That hat grew smaller and smaller. There he is putting water on the hat, and there he is letting it dry in a warm place. Notice how it's getting smaller. I wonder if it's going to fit Toad's head. Frog went back to Toad's house. Toad was still fast asleep. Frog put the hat back on the hook where he found it. When Toad woke up in the morning, he put the hat on his head. It was just the right size. There he is, still in his PJs. You notice that he's wearing his PJs still. Let me try to turn the page. Here we go. Toad ran to Frog's house. Frog, Frog, he cried. All those big thoughts have made my head much larger. Now I can wear your present. Frog and Toad went for a walk. Toad did not trip over a rock. He did not bump into a tree. He did not fall into a hole. It turned out to be a very pleasant day after Toad's birthday. There they go. And the hat fits perfectly. So that was The Hat. Now is the last story in the book, Alone. Toad went to Frog's house. He found a note on the door. The note said, Dear Frog, I am not at home. I went out. I want to be alone. Alone, said Toad. Frog has me for a friend. Why does he want to be alone? Toad looked through the windows. He looked in the garden. He did not see Frog. There's Frog in the note. Toad in the note on Frog's door. I think Toad's kind of sad. Toad went into the woods. Frog was not there. He went to the meadow. Frog was not there. Toad went down to the river. There was Frog. He was sitting on an island by himself. There's Toad. Way out there's Frog. You see him out there on the little rock island out there in the river? Poor Frog, said Toad. He must be very sad. I will cheer him up. Toad ran home. He made sandwiches and made a pitcher of iced tea. He put everything in a basket. There's Toad making a picnic. Toad hurried back to the river. Frog, he shouted, it's me. It's your best friend, Toad. Frog was too far away to hear. Toad took off his jacket and he waved it like a flag. Frog was too far away to see. Toad shouted and waved, but it was no use. Frog sat on the island. He did not see or hear Toad. There's Toad waving at him and shouting. A turtle swam by. Toad climbed on the turtle's back. Turtle, said Toad, carry me to that island. Frog is there. He wants to be alone. There's Toad on the turtle's back. You think you could ride a turtle's back? Be a giant turtle. If Frog wants to be alone, said the turtle, why don't you leave him alone? Maybe you're right, said Toad. Maybe Frog does not want to see me. Maybe he does not want me to be his friend anymore. Yes, maybe, said the turtle as he swam to the island. Frog, cried Toad, I'm sorry for all the dumb things I've done. I'm sorry for all the silly things I've done. Please be my friend again. Toad slipped off the turtle. With a splash, he fell into the river. Poor Toad. Do you see Toad splashing in the river? Frog pulled Toad up onto the island. Toad looked in the basket. Ooh, the sandwiches were wet. The pitcher of iced tea was empty because it's all in the river now. Our lunch is spoiled, said Toad. I made it for you, Frog, so that you'd be happy. But Toad, said Frog, I am happy. I am very happy. This morning when I woke up, I felt good because the sun was shining. I felt good because I was a frog. And I felt good because I have you for a friend. I wanted to be alone. I wanted to think about how fine everything is. Oh, said Toad. I guess that is a very good reason for wanting to be alone. Now, said Frog, I will be glad not to be alone. Let's eat lunch. There's Frog telling Toad. Frog and Toad stayed on the island all afternoon. They ate wet sandwiches without iced tea, and they were two close friends sitting alone together. It's great to have friends. It's not always easy, but it's great to have friends. And there we are. We read the Frog and Toad Storybook Treasury. I'll come up with some more stories for next week. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Remember, Jesus died for the sins of his people. This is called Good Friday today. Jesus died for the sins of his people. But Sunday is a really exciting day because Jesus didn't stay dead. We'll find out more on Sunday, Easter Sunday. I'll see you maybe then, and I'll see you for Monday. Bye now.